Self-publishing. Well, it all boils down to the way that a writer goes about getting their book published. A writer can usually do that in one of two ways: traditional publishing or self-publishing. With traditional publishing, a writer does not get their book directly from themselves to their readers. Instead, the writer shops their book out to agents. And one very talented agent is going to say, hey, this writer is also really talented. I think I'm going to help them get their book out to millions of readers. So the writer is like, yes, now I don't have to do all the work myself. So they hand their manuscript over to the agent. They trust the agent very much. The agent reads the manuscript and is like, okay, let's make a few tweaks to make this more palatable to a wider audience because we want everyone all over the world to read your book. So the writer has to be like, okay, I'll do whatever you say. They go along with what their agent suggests. And the agent provides the writer typically with a team of people to help them. Like they have illustrator, they have editors, they have, I don't know, other people, marketing people, just a whole team of people to help them make this book as beautiful and polished as it can be so that it can get out to millions of readers. In other words, agents have money. They have the money to invest in a writer because they believe that writer will eventually make them lots of money. The writer does not pay the agent up front. Instead, sometimes the agent will even pay the writer. They're throwing tons of money at them because they believe eventually that money plus some more will come back to them. So as time goes on, when the book is ready, it might be like 6 months, a year, maybe 2 years, then the agent has partnered with a publishing company, usually a big name publishing company, that will help market and sell that writer's book. So that means in the end, when the reader pays, let's say $20 for the book, a good portion of that $20 will go to the publishing company, to the agent, and then some of it will go to the writer. But remember, the writer also probably got a check from the agent up front, so they had a little bit of money. And plus that, because they're going through they have such a great marketing team, millions and millions of people are probably going to read their book. So that means even though their check might be a little less because they have to also, that part of that check also has to go to the publishing company and the agent, it's okay typically because so many people are going to read their book. So that's like a good win-win scenario for a writer who chooses the traditional route of getting an agent and having the agent help them get their book out there to the people. Now, some authors choose to not do that and get their book directly from themselves to their readers, and that is called self-publishing. And the reason some writers do this is because there are other traditionally published writers who have had really bad experiences with agents. Like some agents have not been as legitimate as they seem. So sometimes they would even ask the writer, can you pay me? And then I'll do this for you. And then they take the writer's money and run. Or maybe they do cut a check for the writer, but their book, and they do link the writer's book up with a publishing company, but the publishing company is not that great and only like, a few hundred copies of the book sell. So the writer and the agent don't make that much money. And that's pretty disappointing when you've put that much effort into secure an agent and you've got all your hopes up and then only like 200 copies of your book sell. Not that's really sucky. So after a writer has had that experience or they have friends who've had that experience, they might say, you know what, I'm going to skip the whole agent process and just do everything myself. So a self-published author, they write their manuscript typically. And then after they write, say, the first draft of their manuscript, they shop it out to critique partners. These are fellow writers who the writer allows them to read their manuscript and give them critiques. They say, I think this is good, like chapter one works, chapter two is boring, I think this character seems unrealistic, blah, 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 blah. So usually a writer will have like two or three critique partners who they give their book to, and that helps them to shape their book. Just like if they were working with a literary agent, the literary agent would have editors who would do that for them. Okay, so after getting the initial feedback from their critique partners, then the writer would probably write another draft of their manuscript, and then they probably shop it out to more critique partners. So they get more feedback, and they keep doing that until they felt that their manuscript was the best it can be. Then finally, the next step is for them to hire a professional editor. A professional editor is someone who has years of experience in editing novels and books, and it's usually a pretty penny, so they're going to do this out of pocket. Um, and that's the downside of self-publishing. You have to pay a lot of money to get things done, typically. So then once they get their notes back from the editor, then they're going to write the manuscript again based on the notes that they got from the editor, get it even more polished. And then what the writer wants to do is hire a cover artist or a graphic designer to do the cover and make it look professional and pretty and beautiful and eye-catching. So that's another good bit of money. Um, and then after that, the writer is going to hire a book formatter. And this is someone who is professional. Usually they're a graphic designer, and they're professionally capable of formatting a book so that it can be uploaded to Amazon.com with no problem as an ebook or as a printed book. Um, and also to other websites too, like Barnes and Noble, um, Apple, all the other places where people get their books. And to do that, you have to have the book formatted exactly right. So that's why it's important to hire this person to do that. So that's more money. And then finally, after that, the writer is ready to upload their book to those sites. And Amazon, they can do that for free, but other sites, sometimes it does cost money, usually not that much, to have the book uploaded there. And that's basically it. The difference between traditional publishing and self-publishing is with traditional publishing, you have a team um, who helps you that you don't have to pay for, and they help you because they are investing in you and believe that you have the talent to make them lots of money. But with self-publishing, the author skips the whole process of hiring a team, not hiring, of getting a team, and instead they hire their own people, use their own money, they invest in themselves and hope that they get a return. So it is a lot of work to self-publish, and if you are interested in doing that, I have a book about that. It's called Ready Set Launch: Take Flight with Self-Publishing by me, Paula Jones. And it just kind of takes you through the basic steps of how to write and self-publish your book in the best way possible, according to my knowledge. If you would like a free copy of that book, for a limited time, I can send it to you. So just check out the link that you'll see in this little, what do you call it, in the description box, and that should get you this book for about like a month or so, and then after that you'll have to buy it. But I mean, it's cheap anyway, so I can't remember. It's probably like what, $4.99, $5.99 on Amazon. So if you don't get it, if you want it, but you don't get it in like, you don't have a chance to get the free one within the next month or so, it's okay. It's really cheap. All right, well, thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day. And if you are a writer, happy writing.